Word, it's rather boring, the weather for the next few days. So for the excitement, BBC One this evening, Children in Need looks like a lot of fun. On a more serious note, let's start with our regular look at Europe, because it has been very cold during the night time. Last night in central France we saw temperatures dip to -8, a new record for the month of November. And away to the east and up across Scandinavia, we've seen not just the cold air but some very strong winds. Quite a bit of disruption for the eastern side of Scandinavia over the last couple of days, and that colder air is sweeping into a large part of Eastern Europe. Now, the nighttime temperatures show that very well. Not just frost here, but the frost becoming quite extensive during the night over much of northern Europe over the next 3 or 4 days, and certainly into next week, that frost creeping down into central and northern parts of Spain. Now, we're looking at city forecasts for the next few days, seeing some of that colder air. Moscow, in particular, seeing some more snow on Sunday. And also, despite the fact there is a fair amount of sunshine and warmer weather in the Mediterranean, there is still a risk of some more persistent rain. That low in the western end of the Mediterranean still causing problems. Nice, for instance, seeing more rain on Sunday. Now, for ourselves, well, we're settled. We have an area of high pressure. Eventually, it gets shoved out of the way, but it'll take its time before it leaves us, and so throughout the weekend with us, and probably the early part of next week. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, a cold weather front moves down from the northwest. That's going to introduce some rain. As you can see, a fair number of packed-in isobars there, so some quite strong winds. And once the winds come round from the north, significantly colder air arriving through Thursday and into Friday. But that's a long way off. Let's look at what's happening this afternoon. Somewhere buried underneath that lot is the United Kingdom, a blanket of cloud covering most of us. A little bit of brightness here and there, and the cloud thickness in the northwest of Scotland, for instance, to bring some spots of drizzly rain here and there. In terms of temperatures, probably 8, 9, 10 degrees. Typically, we may get slightly higher than that. A little bit of brightness perhaps in the eastern Scotland will give us 12 or 13. Overnight tonight, still some mist around, still a fair blanket of clouds, so not too many frost problems. This weather front, before it arrives, will allow a little bit of frost developing in perhaps the southeast of Scotland, and also the other side of it, up towards the Northern Isles, those temperatures dipping close to freezing, otherwise holding up quite nicely at 5 to 7 degrees. But it also means a rather misty grey start to the day for the first half of the weekend. Saturday's forecast isn't much different than today's. We'll find some more rain back into the far west of Scotland and across the more northern parts of Scotland through the day. And that line of showery rain will very slowly creep its way southwards. But before it arrives, I think we'll find a lot of mist, a lot of cloud around, and a top temperature of 7 or 8 degrees. And eventually behind that weather front on Sunday, somewhat clearer air, a little bit of sunshine here and there. But expect rather dull, cloudy conditions. As I say, rather boring weather for the next few days. George.
David.